Hey, everyone in. Let's go. Huddle up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Huddle up.
You all know what you have to do. Remember, no one, and I mean no one, comes into our house and pushes us around. This is your game now, gentlemen.
Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins.
This could be a sentence that a month ago would sound incomprehensible. From 31 yards, McPherson, and Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl.
He called it again, I'm sure. He walked up and he goes, "Can you believe, Coach? We're going to the Super Bowl."
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Huddle Up Podcast. We are live Tuesday night, October the 11th, 2022. We are glad to be back with you for another week. And every time we think we might be getting a handle on this thing that is called the football season, we are always reminded that we have not a clue. But make sure you are following along with us on social media at Huddle Up Podcast, Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe on all podcast platforms. We have, of course, our merchandise over at tpublic.com.
Merchandising.
Get one of these. Kyle, I'm sure you have something handy that you can show the group. No, maybe?
I would need to roll over there real quick. I can do that.
Absolutely. Let's show it off, my friend. But we are glad to be back with you. If you're following along with us live, give us a like and a share. We would appreciate that. And we can see there it is, the Student of the Game t-shirt. Beautiful. The two-sided, currently the only two-sided shirt on the store. So make sure.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Make sure you check that out. Full crew back with us. We start with Ernest, Christian, EJ. How we doing this week, my friend?
What up?
Really? That's all you got?
Great. All right.
Bittersweet weekend for me. Sorry.
No, we're moving on. Matt, how are you doing?
I am
Fuck
doing.
You. No. Kyle, go ahead.
Matt, how are you doing?
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm doing great, Jim. I'm doing so great. So Eagles won, Notre Dame won, big ranked opponent victory, as I'm sure you're well aware.
Okay, hold on. Come on there, Cowboys fan. It wasn't the Eagles. Okay.
I mean, we can play back the tapes where Kyle guaranteed us a loss against Brigham Young early in the season if we want to, but we can save that for later.
Did I really?
Yeah, 100%. So a bigger win.
Marshall, can you blame me? Anyway.
Well, it was before Marshall, but I'll take it. Phillies advanced to 1-1. I'm not sure what time the Mets play. Oh, that's right. They got eliminated. So sorry,
no.
I'm doing great.
Glad to hear, Matt. Kyle,
AJ's on it. AJ Hawk doing the thing. By the way, hey, listen, maybe you should try punting in some sort of a flag league. And then we got the whole thing set up, for the spin-off. McAfee likes wrestling too. That's all I'm saying.
He's a fucking employee.
That's exactly. The joke, Jack Wagon. Look, chase down your perp, Jesus.
Kyle, how we doing?
I'm good, man. Listen, I do realize, people talk about how I crack on EJ, but one behind the curtain thing, before we got on the show here, since Matt has gotten in touch with his show persona as AJ Hawk, I started calling EJ Strahan again, and I realized why it doesn't bother him. It's the only way I'll acknowledge his allegings of being a Giants fan. There you go.
Wow.
EJ, you got anything to add, or you just gonna
You don't even have the board back.
I've had a rough week, so bittersweet week, should I say?
All right.
And is that it makes it worse. And Matt's happy. I don't like it.
How did FSU do? I'm checking. Wow.
Yeah, like I said,
what is it going to take for you to bring the whiteboard back? Does the two of your teams need to win in the weekend for that to happen? Because we might as well just retire it. I guess.
Miami Heat championship.
The Chiefs won.
Rangers Stanley Cup.
Bitch.
Chiefs did win. Cowboys won.
Yeah, come on.
Jalen Hurts had 2 touchdowns. He's a Jalen Hurts guy.
I don't like this man at all. It's too happy.
See, here's my whole thing. Like, I'm still trying to rectify him being an FSU fan, but his tagline on the show is completely a U of M former football player. So I can remind the world, go Heat, bitch. Like,
I'm a man of mystery, I can't tell you.
That's not mystery. There's
no mystery. If you like every team, there's no mystery.
I don't know every team. I don't know where that came from.
All right.
Jim, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm doing great.
How's your weekend?
My weekend was great. Notre Dame won. Cowboys won.
And you're happy too. Fuck me, man.
Yeah.
God.
Hockey season starts tonight.
Yep. Rangers and Lightning tonight.
So what does that matter to you?
Yeah, I'm a hockey fan.
Jeez, here we go. I mean, like, if you talked more trash to me yourself about, what happened to Jacksonville and people trying to ruin my chance to get to cover an NFL playoff game in Duval, I might get mad at you, but it's only intermediaries that do that. Hi, Zach.
Mike's happy that Coastal Carolina won. Look at this. Joe even says the dollar.
Wait, Joe. I never said the Mets are going to win the whole thing anyway. You're looking at the wrong Met fan. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, he's upset.
Hey, bring it to you. I warned of this back in August.
He's upset.
Listen to my podcast. I broke the whole thing down this morning. I warned this in August.
I mean,
I tried to tell them, but they didn't fucking listen.
Do it. Play it.
Fuck them.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
EJ deserved that.
What makes the Mets collapse even greater, EJ, is that you decided in early August on one of my random Facebook statuses to make a joke about the Phillies playoff push. So the fact that the Phillies are still playing meaningful baseball in October and the Mets are not, Joe is absolutely correct.
I hate
to
my
throw
team.
shade at you.
See, if it made sense to care about baseball, I'd have popcorn for this.
Right? It's right.
You know what's funny? You know what really sucks though?
That the show's
I actually had a one up on Matt earlier this year.
Oh boy, here we go.
The Heat and the Sixers in the playoffs.
Go Heat, bitch.
Didn't really use that much though. But again, I didn't have the platform.
I mean, how could you? That Embiid missed the first
true. I know
two
that,
games.
and that's why. But that's why I didn't pile on. I understood the fucking. It wasn't a fair fight. To be honest with you.
I mean, you still didn't remember to say "Go Heat, bitch" on any of the shows.
You also did not do that.
That's true.
EJ, how much do you enjoy the recreated videos where Trumpets is playing taps instead of the actual song for Diaz to come out? Because I never get tired of it.
And that still makes me sad for you, EJ. Oh God.
I sent that to my boss at work, and he couldn't have laughed harder. He absolutely just couldn't have laughed harder.
Never get told.
Joe says the Mets.
But they are who we thought they were.
Well, they were.
All right, and on that, we've kicked EJ enough around.
I really didn't know you cared about baseball that much, but at this part, I'm not joking. Like,
no, I'm a big Met fan. It was the first team I rooted for as a child. So
yeah, I mean, this is just because you've never felt like this about anything involving.
No, that's not that. It's just that.
Well, like he only has like one baseball team. He has 38 NFL teams. He can't get that upset.
Plus, Florida State and the Giants usually crush his hopes early enough that he's out on them before it gets to a meaningful game.
Accurate. Okay.
Although there was that season where they won 6 games and almost got to the playoffs, EJ. That was probably your glimmer.
All right. Okay. Well, look,
all right, we're honestly done because
we've hit him enough. We'll hit him again.
I'm good.
More and more and more, but we do need to continue.
I am an Irish fan though.
I'm the only one laughing at that joke, but I'm okay.
Good job as BYU, baby. Let's go.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, I know you are a huge fan of the movie Rudy. You did pick it first in our movie.
That's very true.
Oh, there's a deflection.
But As we do each and every week, we start with the good, the bad, and the ugly from the weekend that was. So EJ, we've been beating up on you enough. We'll let you start this one off this week. What was the good from this past?
It wasn't the Mets. That's for damn sure. I'm gonna say it. I don't give three shits you guys say. Brian Daboll and the Giants in London.
I mean, that's not a bad good. It doesn't make him coach of the year, but that's cool.
He's coach. He's right now. Look, it's a 5-game sample. I get it. It's not. We don't vote right now. Hey, I'm talking.
He's upset, Kyle.
5-game sample. 5-game sample. Obviously, don't mean shit. But through 5 games, he has done the best coaching job in the league.
Other than the fact that they're patently incorrect, I think it's.
I mean, let me ask you a question. Did anybody have him 4-1 at 5 weeks into the season?
And did you have the Cowboys at 4-1 after they lost their starting quarterback?
Did you have the Eagles undefeated?
I had the Cowboys making the playoffs. I had the Eagles in the playoffs. The Giants were going to be where if the Giants won 7 games this year, it was a win. They're more than halfway to that number now.
Ooh, that's a long way to fall, EJ.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hey, remember,
and I still think the Giants ain't getting in the playoffs because they're not talented enough. They're not
right now.
Okay, so newsflash.
Like when you're
hey, we got a spoiler here. They're not my top 10. That's on the record.
When good. I might eject you from the broadcast if you would put them in your top.
It's done. Now if they beat Baltimore this week, we have a conversation.
Good God, here we go. Matt, what was your good from the weekend that was?
Jesus. It's 1 step forward, 3 steps back every time you talk to Jay. You couldn't help yourself. You just had to throw that in at the end.
Yeah, just let it go.
They won't win that game, but for the record, but I'm just saying if they win that game.
But you're already putting it. What if? They're not going to. They're not.
Okay. I mean, we'll see.
I mean,
you guys are. I mean, you were hell up fucking saying they being Green Bay during the game. You were saying, "Oh, it's over." Just saying.
Yeah, I think that says more about Green Bay than it does about the Giants.
Well, oh yeah, I will get to that. I'm sure
anything can happen in the London game. Andy Dalton looked like a good NFL quarterback.
Oh, for the record, Giants 3-0 in London. For the record, Giants 3-0 in London.
Side note, can anybody tell me how exactly that Daboll is more impressive than what Mike McCarthy's done? If we're going to play this game,
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but
just say it, you cowboy homer.
If neither of you homers say it, it sounds better for me. So,
but I will say this though, because of McCarthy. If they weren't doing well right now, he still gets shit for it. So why can we give him praise when they actually are doing well? Let's go there.
Who's not praising him?
You'd be surprised. It's Dan Quinn's defense, and we're wrong. Dan Quinn is definitely fucking doing a fantastic job.
Are people saying that Mike McCarthy isn't coaching well this year?
They're not saying a damn thing about Mike McCarthy.
Oh, I'll tell you what I said about Mike McCarthy. The only reason he's coaching well is because he's coaching a limited game plan to a quarterback he doesn't believe in.
But I will say this much though: what Kyle said on my own podcast, the Earth Speaking podcast, by the way, ding, about when they go to Dak at some point, don't change what you're doing.
I did
great
say
point.
that.
Great point today on the podcast.
I've been saying that for 2.5 weeks. Like, there's no reason that when Dak returns and when Dak takes back over that team, that they should go back to him throwing the ball 45 times. Like that would be asinine. Now, do I expect them to do it? Possibly, but that's another story for another day. Possibly tomorrow on the Student of the Game podcast. Maybe.
Oh, nice timing there.
Later. Matt, what was your good from this past weekend?
Well, since EJ already started the Homer train, I'll follow along. And I will choose the Notre Dame not collapsing in the second half, holding a lead against BYU. Irish are undefeated since Marcus Freeman converted to Catholicism, so that was the only missing link I had to have been. And a big win. Jim did guarantee it with it being the Shamrock Series, but a win they absolutely 100% needed if they are going to make it to bowl eligibility, because they still do have a tough schedule ahead.
Yeah, and I think it was critical too.
I know what's so funny about that. They still have to play Clemson and USC.
I love it. Oh, it's a tough schedule.
I mean, they play 2 teams in the top 7 still.
Yeah, that's great. Well, yeah, and you had that triumphant win over the G5 last week. Woo!
I mean,
sorry,
still a good win though.
You know,
still a good win.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean,
is it a 1A school that they played?
Ryan says they did look good in the Shamrock Shake. They absolutely did.
Here we go.
Absolutely.
Come
Wait,
on,
Ryan likes college football?
go eat some crinkle fries.
Yeah, you
And
do
Ryan,
sound that shit.
we do let EJ we do let him raise his voice to us sometimes. He just
Did you hear my crack on him, Ryan?
he's like a tea kettle. If you don't let it out, there's going to be more problems in the long run.
Oh my God.
Kyle, go ahead. What was
Verbal
your,
blue balls.
Kyle, what was your good from this past weekend?
Man, listen, I if we're gonna keep it college, I'm gonna say that my good was I don't normally throw props to this team. No, I'm not going to the best mullet in college football with Oklahoma State beating Texas Tech. Who cares? That's the Big 12. There's a joke.
Come after me.
Oh, nice.
How old is he? Oh, sorry.
Well, older than that now, sir.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's
I'm
like
a man. I'm 40.
Plus
55,
15.
but that's
Plus 15,
okay.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Get the multiplier on that, Jim.
I'll do my best.
No, for me, and I'm not apt to throw hype this guy's way, but if we're keeping it college like we are, Josh Heupel taking care of business over a former Notre Dame coach. And no, I'm not just saying that to knock you guys, but rather to put them in a position to be an interesting SEC team. Now, granted, I do it now because in the upcoming weeks, I think they're going to plummet significantly, but we can get more to that later.
Yeah, I think we'll certainly talk about that game coming up here in a little bit. Devin,
I think there were two members on this podcast as well, and to steal Kyle's bit, that tried to tell you about Brian Kelly and big games.
To tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
I'll say I've read that.
Am I included on that too? Because
No, I said two.
I'm joking.
Yeah, we said two.
This is true.
I mean,
Devin,
you probably could have said it. It's not just Irish fans that know about Brian Kelly and big games.
This is true. Also,
yeah,
He does take notes now, Matt. That's true.
Yeah, we got to look out for that. Devin, welcome in, buddy. He says, "Let's get it out of the way." His Dolphins suck again.
Oh no,
they're
got a little bit of the injury bug, Devin. Only so much you can do with that.
I mean, two of the three before me went on the homer wagon for the good, so I'm going to continue the same trend. The Cowboys defense once again playing extremely well, keeping the Rams at bay and improving to 4-1, 4-0, of course, with Riptide Rush at quarterback.
Oh wait, is it kind of party? Okay, hold on. Then I have to say, go Niners! To remind certain people that I'm not a Jags fan. You just think I am because you talk trash from afar. Anyways, what?
I mean, there you go. There you go. Now we got all the homers.
He seems offended by that.
No, I'm trying to actually get him to banter with me. I like the guy. I hate that he did it from a distance. Come on.
I thought it was kind of. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Mike says the good Joe Musgrove for shoving it in game 3. Joe here
This
says
is a football podcast.
I mean, I said the weekend that was. This is a sports podcast. We cover more than just.
Oh, then you know what? Here's a good. Bray Wyatt's back. Woo! Let's go.
Sports,
Okay.
not sports entertainment.
Come on,
EJ.
Oh, I mean, you.
Joe says the good.
He's
EJ
Irish.
Irish.
Look at Bray Wyatt.
No, don't be that way. Don't
I
put.
told you. Hey, he's saying it too. Joe's saying also. Joe knows.
Yeah, Joe's just making fun of
Can you put Joe's second? That one's a little bit more.
This is Brian Kelly in big games like the Mets trying to clinch the division.
no. And now it got.
I earned that one. Yes.
Yeah, you sure did.
Wow.
Sure did. All right, let's move ahead to the bad. Kyle, we'll start with you. What was a bad from this past weekend?
Aaron Charles Rodgers in that group's in big trouble, aren't they? Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, no, that wasn't about the Giants. It wasn't about the Giants being good, in my opinion, although people trying to allege that they're Giants fans will say that. No, this was about the Packers being god awful. And last week, Aaron Charles Rodgers tried to say we can't keep winning like this. He called the shot.
Wait, so you're saying
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
I guess so.
I think he bought a shirt too.
is that what?
Dang it. I thought I was that big purchaser on T Public. It turns out it was A-Rod.
Aaron Rodgers bought one for
This
each
guy
member
gets
of
it.
his team.
Thank you for this guy gets it, by the way, Jim. Well done.
Aaron Charlie.
Yeah. look, the Packers, man. I'm watching that game going. Can we start talking about them not being like a guaranteed playoff lock anymore?
Oh, there's
Like,
another team out there too, but it's not my turn.
Well,
Like,
thanks
we're
to
allowed
you.
to do that now.
Well, thanks to you. That was the topic on my podcast today. Actually, thank you, Jim. I think I get full credit for that.
There we go. There you go. Good. I'm glad. Matt, what was a bad from this past weekend?
So the one I have for bad, I initially had as my ugly, but then there were some events that transpired yesterday that moved into the ugly category. So my bad, and this did happen yesterday too, will be overall just the NFL officiating not having any idea what roughing the passer is. And that's just beyond the protection of EJ's idol and favorite player and hero and the person that he owns 4 framed jerseys of, Tom Brady. It's more so just the overall week to week not knowing what a defensive player is allowed to do when tackling a quarterback in the pocket, whether they're supposed to just touch them, whether they can tackle them, but as soon as they're going to the ground, they have to freeze in midair and slide off to the side so that their full weight is not coming down, whether it's the Derek Carr incident where a sack fumble is apparently roughing, or Patrick Mahomes getting flung to the ground a little bit more viciously than any other flag of the weekend, and that not being penalized at all. So some consistency would be nice. This has been a complaint, I feel like, from a number of fans for a number of years, and there just doesn't really seem to be any sort of addressing it in the offseason aside from, we'll deal with it eventually.
You know, speaking of people addressing things, Matt, you may not have seen this because you're an Eagles fan, but the Cowboys fans up here I know they saw that their idol, other than, EJ and Tom Brady, there's a certain Dallas Cowboy quarterback that's calling games with Joe Buck. Troy Aikman, the guy who's had 9 concussions as a quarterback, and he's telling you to get rid of your skirt. Think about that.
Joe Buck yourself.
Exactly.
Also, probably not the best choice of words from
agreed.
There.
Yeah.
But
much better way to say. I understand what he's trying to say,
and
but
I agree with him too. But
much better way.
Yeah, he's not wrong necessarily in terms of maybe say take the gloves off or something along those lines.
Sure, it's very sensitive what he said, but
again, you also alluded to the concussions.
The 9
society
concussions.
Yes.
Apparently tickling gets your flag down too. So just saying.
Again, maybe inappropriate to bring that up here in
flag
2022.
Flag.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, Matt, you took my ugly because so I'll jump ahead for a minute because this is obviously a huge talking point in sports and football, and to me, like I saw the explanations by both officials from the Bucs game and from last night's game. The explanation from Jerome Boger from Sunday, he said, what I had was a defender grab the quarterback, was in the pocket, and unnecessarily throwing him to the ground. That is what I was making my decision based upon. Then the reporter asked, the play was similar to the play that injured Miami's quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Is this something you have made a specific measure to try to watch out for the takedowns on the quarterback? And he said, no, not necessarily.
And that's a flat lie, by the way.
Was it similar in the extent that the quarterbacks got tackled?
Right, that it was a clean tackle? Yeah. I mean, they were definitely similar. But
hell of an explanation.
So, and this was Carl Cheffers was the official last night. The question was, can you explain why the play on Chris Jones sacking Derek Carr was called roughing the passer? He said the quarterback is in the pocket and is in a passing posture. He gets full protection of all the aspects of what we give the quarterback in a passing posture. So when he was tackled, my ruling was the defender landed on him with full body weight. The quarterback is protected from being tackled with full body weight. Then he was followed up with the fact that the ball came out before the quarterback landed on the ground. The player landed on the quarterback. Does that negate the penalty at all? And he says no, because he still gets passing protection until he can defend himself. So with him being in passing posture and actually attempting to make a pass, he's going to get full protection until the time he can protect himself. man, I feel like the explanations like actually make these worse somehow.
Oh, I agree. My thing is just like last week also. Just shut the fuck up. That's simple. Because you're right. Them explain themselves to get out of the hole makes it 10 times worse. And it pisses off fans more.
No,
just shut the fuck up.
The thing is, though, I think I'm fine with the officials being questioned about this.
Yeah.
No.
Because it is
yes.
causing, because what it is doing, I think, is actually providing more insight on the fact that like nobody really knows. It's all a guessing game, and ultimately, I feel like the end game, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, is like, is the end game for this
flag
changing it to a replay review? Like, is that going?
It may have to be. It may have to be where
Well,
like they do that.
Yeah, and let me shock people further by agreeing with EJ. I don't think he's trying to say, shut the fuck up. I think he's trying to say, stop lying. Let's get more childish about it. Stop lying. Stop lying about the shit. You blew it. You blew the goddamn call because you guys are too scared. And double down on the fact, listen, if there were mistakes made, it's due to an abundance of caution called for by our fans, thanks to the situation surrounding Tua Tagovailoa. Okay? This isn't about punishment. This isn't about any of that. People have been asking and calling for player safety to matter. Then if that's really what you're going to do with NFL, lean into it. And then if we want corrections by way of review or whatever, and a number of people have said it, I think the one that best matches my feelings and enunciations on it would be Rich Eisen. No shock there.
Love Rich Eisen.
Such an immortal. Definitely way better than EJ's Bill Simmons.
Factual.
But coming around to it now doesn't make it any better.
Oh, no. I've been an Eisen fan for years.
No, before
ESPN.
I'm with it, buddy. Just as an anchor, him and Stuart Scott. It was a good night.
Not the best.
But I don't know how I feel about a constant review of it. People cite, and this is the part that's really trash, guys. People keep citing the pass interference challenge thing that lasted for a year. The reason why it was completely awful is the officials themselves said they'll basically never honor it, and then everybody was shocked when they didn't honor it.
Right.
Okay? Like that was never going to win. There was never a battle to be won there. Okay? Stop comparing it to that. There's a chance this could work. And I'm with the people who are like, well, you can't call the game from the tent. You're right about that. But you know what? Y'all motherfuckers ain't doing it on the field. So how about we compromise?
Right. When the two games pretty much, had the potential, or really, with the Falcons Bucks, had a dramatic impact on the outcome of the game. Now, obviously, the Chiefs still won, but like that could have been a huge swing at that point of the game, because instead of the Chiefs having the ball inside the 50, the Raiders keep the ball around their 50, end up getting a field goal to close out the half. So like, to me, you're looking at two situations that can possibly change the game, and if you don't think this sort of thing can happen in the playoffs, it absolutely could. It just
has Saints fans.
Well, yeah. But it was speaking.
They're always whining about something.
Speaking.
Tell me about it.
To this rule.
Y'all got plenty of calls where your boy Drew Brees was plenty sacked, and then y'all got a roughing the passer. So I don't hear a damn thing. It's because of Tua. No, they've been fucking this up for years, gentlemen.
Yes.
You like that, EJ?
100%.
All right, EJ, what was your bad from the weekend that was?
And by the way, no score, first intermission, Rangers and Lightning. It's a record.
I thought this was a football podcast.
No, I'm again watching the game though. I'm a hockey fan. Thank you.
Sure.
I'm watching the Guardians game. I'm not announcing the score. Shut up and tell us you're bad.
My bad. The Rams. What's going on? Super Bowl champions. Hangover or something more? Like, no, great round. The defense has been fantastic still. Aaron Donald's still doing Aaron Donald things. By the way, probably close to Mount Rushmore all-time defensive player.
What's his name, EJ?
Is it Aaron Charlie Donald?
Very good.
It was Charlie, wasn't it? Charles also too?
Charlie, you're right.
There we go. Exactly. So, no, defense not a problem. And it's going to carry them still go to the playoffs. But, Matthew Stafford's been Cooper Kupp's okay. He had a big touchdown in that game against Dallas. But that's it. Allen Robinson, what's going on? No separation? What's going on? I mean, 2-3 Rams. Look, I think the Rams will be a playoff team. They probably still win. Division, maybe I'm probably a little stubborn on that. They'll still be probably at least a wild card, but very strange because the only good game they've had this year is against Arizona. And other than that, even the win's been kind of weird. So the Rams, not bad.
All right. My bad was the play call and or the execution of said play call on the final play of the game in the Texas A&M Alabama game. I thought A&M had Bama on the ropes. I thought for sure they were going to punch that in. And when you're throwing a pass that doesn't even have a chance of getting in the end zone, like that's bad form. You literally gave yourself no chance to win on that play. So I don't know if it was execution. I don't know what the quarterback saw. I don't know what was supposed to go down there, but man, I thought for sure we had a major shakeup in college football this past weekend, and unfortunately, we did not.
Bama at 3 making sense to you, gentlemen, I guess then.
Right now, yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean,
Texas, I can see why. But hey,
yeah, I mean, all these things are going to shake themselves out eventually. So,
possibly this weekend. We'll get to those games soon.
Possibly. Mike's bad from the weekend was Brandon Staley going for it on 4th down only to get bailed out. Yeah, I mean, it happens. But all right, let's go to the ugly. EJ, go ahead.
So I spoke about earlier about my bittersweet weekend, of course, right? Obviously, the Mets shit the bed. Giants win in London, great.
Go Heat, bitch.
But forgotten all that was in that mess was my Florida State Seminoles, especially in the second half of that game against NC State.
Oh, we didn't forget, EJ.
Well, now reminding her ass, okay? God, what the fuck was that?
Tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
They were up, 17-3 at halftime. Looked good. The defense looked good. And all of a sudden, like 60 yards in the second half until the last drive of the game. And then had a chance to win the game still. And fucking Travis was a pick late in the end zone. Like, to add to my misery of the Mets this whole weekend, yeah, dude, pull that shit off too on top of that. Like the Florida State Seminoles. Look, I'm glad that they're playing well for the most part. They're winning more games than I thought they would. Like I said, they win 8 games this year. It's a win for me, and they're halfway there. But man, that was a giveaway, man.
Listen, with your criminals, you'd be prepared for the fact that may not be bowl eligible once again. I'm just going to throw that out.
You think they're going to lose the rest of the year?
I didn't say that. I just said it was very possible.
You don't need 6 or 7 wins to get in the bowl game.
That doesn't change my answer, Ernest Christian.
Okay, well, we'll go to this one day.
Hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll be FSU instead of Miami versus UCF in the first responder bowl. Oh, wait, they crushed SMU. Never mind, I got that one wrong.
I mean, at least Miami lost again this week. Matt, are they back yet?
They're wearing orange. They're obviously not back.
The same. UM's back, right?
Listen, even the Bengals had to go Siberian white before they came back.
Look, man, we all make some mistakes sometimes. Matt, what was your ugly from this?
Again,
that was a knock on Matt for the record. That's the knock on Miami.
No, I know he did have them.
More than happy to be wrong about Miami not being back.
Thank you.
100%.
We actually agree on something for once. Jeez,
it's a miracle.
My ugly, and a couple people alluded to it. I saw Mike and Joe both mention it. Oakland, the Raiders, just I guess Vegas. I don't know why.
Vegas.
The Vegas Raiders, just overall as a squad, the Devontae Adams situation aside, because that is 100% ugly.
Yeah.
But just that individually, some of their players are having very strong statistical seasons, and they are 1-4 coming out of the gates. And this is a team that a lot of people thought would be playoff contenders. And granted, they could right the ship, turn things around.
AFC West champions I had.
Okay, that I wasn't, no.
Yeah, I mean, I was firmly entrenched, and it's just weird to see because they're not necessarily playing bad. Their top performers are performing to the level that you would expect them to. They're just not putting it all together. And yesterday was just kind of the culmination of that. And then of course the Devontae situation,
of course,
is the icing on the cake there, because that's just I saw the tweet where he apologized, but man, heated moment or not, that's just something you don't do.
And I saw because there was I guess a second angle of video that came out today that like shows the photographer or videographer, whatever he was, like kind of cutting, not like jumping out in front of him, but like trying to, I guess, get across like the tunnel there. And because I saw it on Colin Cowherd today, and there, like Cowherd and his co-host were trying to kind of, I guess, make a justification of it that like, well, Devontae's running off the field with his head down, and this guy kind of jumps out of him. I'm like, look, man, like, granted, I even at a slow jog, I'm sure Davante Adams is moving quicker than I ever have in my entire life. But at no point in my life, if somebody just happens to come across me, if I'm looking down, have I ever like plowed through them like I was a bullet train going down the tracks. Like, stop trying to justify what Davante Adams did. Like, was it malicious? Like, did he like hunt this guy down? No, but it was a bad look. It was a bad thing.
Just own it and move on.
He fucked up, and he should have to pay the consequence for what he did.
He needs to get
that simple. Don't try to justify it.
And suspended probably too. Also,
I don't know about suspension.
I don't know that he should be, but I think he will probably get a 1-game suspension at the least.
Oh, y'all think he gets suspended? I don't. That's okay.
It's fine 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a 1
without
game.
Question. Let me say, go ahead.
Yeah, as somebody who goes on sidelines, you know, where you're supposed to go is very clearly defined. That situation shouldn't even come up, in fairness. But you know, don't tell me he didn't have a dang moment from, you know, as the juggernaut from the 2000 YouTube video. Yeah, it's a juggernaut, bitch. That's totally what happened here. And anybody trying to tell me it was an accident, it's a complete moron. That's why J-Mac needs to be fired, and we need to bring Joy Taylor back onto the Colin Cowherd show. Thank you.
Right. let me say this about the Raiders though, to add on to what you know, his ugly 1-4 start, probably the best 1-4 team in the history of football. No, seriously though,
stop.
They're not out of it yet though. There has been no separation in the AFC. Look at the AFC right now.
I mean, there's no separation really in the league
at the top.
The
that is it. But if you look down the AFC standings right now, they're only 2 games back of a possible wild card. And the teams that are in the wild card aren't necessarily teams you say, oh, it's a lock to get in. Kyle and I say did all early, really early playoff blocks for the AFC and NFC this week. Hold on.
My point. Yeah, I just was a good guest and went along.
No, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. My point is though, if the playoffs started today, the Dolphins are in. Do we know if Tua's come back this year? You know, there's a lot of teams in the middle right now that have not even shown some consistency there. That if the Raiders somehow put it together, a couple wins here, they're back in the mix. So it's not over yet because they're too talented to give up on top of the fact that there's a lot of you know, mumbo jumbo in the AFC. So they're not of it yet.
They're not, but there's certainly alarming thing. I mean,
no, of course,
the difference between like good and bad teams, again, small sample size right now, is like close games, division games. You got to start winning those, and the Raiders are finding more ways to lose than they are.
Agreed.
So again, small sample size, time to correct it. The division has not, with the exception of Kansas City, obviously, has not been what I think a lot of people thought it was going to be. The conference as a whole, like you said, EJ, I do agree with that, has not been exactly what we all thought it would be. So
there's a lot of 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 right now.
There's a lot of teams in the middle. With the Raiders, I think they're on a bye this week. So you have an extra week to start to correct things and try and get this thing moving in the right direction. Will you be without your best receiver 2 weeks from now? We'll find out.
Right.
And I believe they'll be traveling across the country that week to play in Jacksonville, as a matter of fact. No, I'm lying. That's not it. It's later. Sorry.
But Kyle, you're ugly.
Yes, my ugly is merely put in a word: Thursday night. The main reason why, or one of them, the main reasons why the Las Vegas Raiders, by the way, baseball fans, Pete Rose seeing a franchises, I should say, right, hockey fans, open up for when he
heard that
once busted for betting on baseball. Anyways, you know, so long as Nathaniel Hackett's coaching, anybody in the AFC West is going to get some free wins. So the Raiders among them, I would assume, you know.
Thing sucks.
Yeah.
You know, Carrington is saying precisely that. of Nathaniel Hackett. And the reason why I have to call him Carrington is because I don't want to use his actual name, because for some reason that I can't fathom, his only crime being an actual good human being, it's now almost as cool to make fun of Russell Wilson as to make fun of Donald Trump. No, sir. You don't get to do that for saying it was his fault on your podcast and then hiding that from me after.
I never said that was his fault.
Coward.
I defended him on my podcast. What are you talking about? Did you listen to the podcast? Or you just
sure did. That's
Q-tips work, buddy.
Coward.
All I said was that he's having his Tom Brady.
I'm not calling you a Colin Cowherd. I'm calling you a coward. You said it was on you. You use the words. It's on you.
He's not playing, but he's not. But Kyle, he's not playing well.
I blame you.
But that doesn't mean he's also
No,
done.
we're not talking about Utah yet, bitch. We'll get to you.
Yeah, look, I think every one of you guys stole. I mean, Matt had stole my ugly in his bad. I was going to try and rebound and pick some other uglies, but the rest of y'all took them.
I had to rebound myself. Like Matt over here might be the youngest of the group, and he's the one premature bringing out the reps is bad. No, they're
I'm the youngest in the group, actually, if we're being honest.
How old's Matt? So I know you're in the 30s, right?
38.
38. Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was gonna pivot to the Raiders. I was gonna pivot to Devontae Adams. I was gonna pivot to just Thursday Night Football as a whole. I'll go ugly. Ron Rivera.
Yes,
absolutely.
Good one.
Carson Wentz up the river. Hey, why you guys suck? Quarterback.
He's not.
He's not wrong. But man, wow.
But it's a lie though, because he's not in the most correct in this division though. I still argue that Carson Wentz is better than Daniel Jones still. Sorry, it's a lie.
Whether he is or not, I'm not here to debate how bad Carson Wentz or Daniel Jones are. But
they're both just
crown.
How about his shit defense? That's what he's known for as a coach, playing like crap.
I mean,
I'm not going to went to pass here. I'm just saying.
I mean, aren't you? I mean, I'm not trying to defend the Commodores. Pardon me, the football team formerly known as the football team. However, aren't they also missing their best defensive player?
And didn't they also ship Trent Williams? Thank you, said the 49er fan.
Well, they're stupid too. Also, they're a stupid franchise. You know that.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Got to give it that moment of sand for the Washington not football team.
By the way, now that I missed the rules, as I told you at 4 o'clock before kickoff, that would happen if they play like shit on Sunday, and it did happen the next morning with him getting fired. Ron Rivera's next guy in the hot seat now.
So I agreed with you until EJ, because of the front office issues, and the fact that Rivera is handling more because they're still recovering from the whole Gruden plus whoever debacle there. Mm-hmm. He may be too essential, actually, technically, to be let go at this time. So he may escape by a technicality again. Of course, again, referring to the Panthers, once again, ironically, not firing Ron Rivera as he clung to the cape of the Superman known as Cam Newton. Just saying.
Yeah, I trust me. I am honestly, and this isn't a take a funny shot at EJ. I'm honestly shocked that Carolina fired Matt Rule. Not because it wasn't justified. I thought just because of the length of contract that they were going to give him longer than they did. But
what did I say to you? It had nothing to do. Obviously, everything you said was correct there. Like the logic was correct. Why would you fire a guy $4 million, 4 years, $40 million of his deal? Because that owner, like Jim Irsay, is the most thirstiest owner in football, and he's dying for winner. He's been saying it for the last year or so now.
Can you stick with Frisky for that? Because thirsty isn't making sense for me.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, Frisky's for the players. Thirsty's for the
hungry. Why don't you use hungry? Because that's that seems to be the actual thirsty. I know you're older, EJ, but thirsty, I believe, is like a different type of term.
See, here's the whole thing. You can't say hungry because I make fiscally sound decisions and I lost 40 pounds. I'm hungry all the fucking time. All right.
You want some cookies?
But I mean, Kyle, you had to. You had to.
Diabetes.
I mean, you didn't have a choice, Kyle. All right. There's a lot of comments here, and I certainly do appreciate.
Bring him in.
I do appreciate some of the comments here. Joe says the Bears were an ugly.
Almost won though. Almost won against Minnesota.
Yeah. Let's see. Devin, Jets destroying the Dolphins. Yeah, he's a Dolphins fan, so losing to the Jets not good.
How's Sky?
That was actually almost my lock last week. Was the Jets?
Although I will say that game was closer than people give credit for. That was a 19-17 game in the fourth quarter.
It was. It was.
So I mean,
Mike had the Devontae Adams shove. Joe also mentioned the Raiders. Let's see. We got an Eagles comment. Yeah, this is ugly. Eagles best team in the game. That's pretty.
Oh,
yes.
I mean, good Devils do. They are unbeaten. Good Devils.
They are the final.
Do. Are they my top of power rankings? Though, is the question. We'll see soon.
I guess we will find out
that
when they get there in a little bit. But let's transition here to college football. Of course, 5 games on the agenda now. Each one of us picked one. I will start with mine, and we will work around. But I have number 10, Penn State. They are 5-0. They travel to number 5, Michigan, this Saturday. Michigan also is 6-0. They are a 7-point home favorite. 52 is your over/under in this one. It is Saturday at noon on Fox. EJ, we'll start with you.
For the record, this is not your game. This is Mrs. Big Jim's game. For the record,
well, I mean, my game, because this is the game that I picked for the show.
Jim's a Michigan fan. EJ.
He totally is. I don't know what happened. You're just doing
wrong.
Don't be rude. Anyway, give me Michigan. I think this is they need. Okay, this is the only toughest game they have on the schedule before the Columbus game against Ohio State. So this is a statement game for Michigan. Give me Michigan here to cover some points at home, and I will take the slight over on this one.
All right, Matt.
I hate both of these teams so much.
Do you?
I do. 2 of my least favorites.
It's got like being Clemson and Miami.
No, stop it. That being said, I'll take Michigan, but I'll take the under on this. I don't trust the offense enough.
All right, Kyle.
I don't trust either. Well, I shouldn't say either of these teams. I don't trust offense for Penn State in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And they, much like the Tennessee Titans, when I pick them, they do well. So I'm very curious. If I pick Michigan, like I think will actually happen, and they win, I'm all of a sudden going to get an angry text from Jim's wife and have both EJ and Jim's wife pissed at me. So with all of that,
dangerous game, Kyle. Dangerous game.
I know. But that being said, I mean, listen, I also live a good distance from you, Jim. I'll be safe. And EJ hates me, so I'll never actually see his wife. So I'll be safe. So I'll pick Michigan. I got the under as well, though, just like Matt.
Hey, March is on you, dude. I told you to come over to the Airbnb.
Sir.
You chose not to.
Tell me what time you were available until like 2 hours before, and by then I had family stuff. Good try, though.
Oh,
all right. Yeah, I don't believe offense is going to work for Penn State, even with Sean Clifford in his 14th year of eligibility in Happy Valley. I think the Michigan defense is just too good, so I'm going to go Michigan here, and I am going to take the under as well. Penn State does have a good defense, I will say that. Mike has Michigan and the over.
Smart guy.
Dana says go blue.
Mrs. Big Jim. Hi, Mrs. Big Jim. How you doing?
Saying that in honor of Jim himself.
Is that right? I paid her off. Joe has Michigan outright and the over as well. Yeah, the Maze out game. So
all right, let's go.
My number 2. Hey, I'm Michigan guy for record. Number 2 team at the Florida State. So I'm
sure
all about
sure
it.
you are.
I'm all about it. Come on, Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice. Come on.
No, we all know it's Tom.
It's
Brady.
the reason I'm a Heat fan. You know the story about this. It's
no,
it's Glenn Rice. It's the reason I'm a Heat fan. Glenn Rice.
All right, then we move to Kyle's game. I'll read them off because I do have the updated numbers on the game. It is number 16, Mississippi State. They are 5-1 and a 7-point road favorite at number 22, Kentucky, who is 4-2. 46 is your over/under on this one. This one Saturday night at 7:30 on the SEC Network. Kyle, I'll let you lead this one off.
You know, it is pretty damn sensual to hear you talk about a proper SEC game and build that up, sir. I appreciate that. Listen, in a game that actually might feature a little bit of defense, we'll see what this Kentucky team is made of and if they'll come back to Orlando to play in the Citrus Bowl, or at least in a game that the Citrus Bowl is played in. I mean, the Cure Bowl doesn't count, but what I'll say is this: actually technically not played in that stadium anymore. Whole other detail. And yeah, Orlando City's owner apparently hates media. Exactly. So with all that in mind, against my better judgment, I'm going to say Kentucky and let them outright disappoint me. Not Utah bad, but pretty bad. I'm going to have the under because it's 2 SEC.
I blame you.
Well stated. Yeah. And Kentucky with the under. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the Utes let me down again this past weekend.
Is that John
Matt,
Cena?
No, that game's coming. You'll be a defendant. Worry not.
Is that John Cena? I blame you.
it is.
Yes.
Okay,
It
I
is.
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Matt, go ahead. Mississippi State and Kentucky.
Yeah. Oof. I will go with. I feel like I'm going to be wrong. Give me Mississippi State, but I will take the under. SEC teams abound. I like
Good
the points.
All right, sounds good. EJ.
Definitely the under. That's actually a good gambling bet too, especially.
Oh, for
But
God's sake.
hey, I'm having a bad year for the record. 1-4 this weekend.
Yeah, we know.
We try to know you, but
That being said, I'm with you also too. Michigan State, Mississippi State. Sorry, give me the Mississippi State on the points.
Go Sparty.
Yeah, look, Kentucky, I think, was as high as number 8 at one point this year, but has dramatically disappointed since then. And I think the downward trend is going to continue. So give me Mississippi State plus. Man, 46. Yeah, I'll still go the under on that one. I'll still go the under.
All these teams that climb into the top 10, like Mississippi, Kentucky, and who else came there? Oklahoma. They get a little taste of the top 10 action.
I mean, Oklahoma started there,
and the minute they get there and they lose, they fucking fall apart.
I don't think we have even found the bottom for Oklahoma yet.
Yeah. You have thrice mentioned Oklahoma. Please give me my goddamn Lucifer Morningstar.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
I didn't pick them to win the fucking. I had Baylor in the conference. So
No. Well, okay, first of all, where you're wrong is I tried to tell you about Dylan Gabriel. You didn't want to hear it.
I don't know who the hell that guy is. Who is he? I have no idea who it is. Sorry.
I have no idea who that is.
All right.
didn't see Nathaniel Hackett. Where is my Homer? God damn it.
Mike has Mississippi State in the under, and Joe is calling you out.
You're nothing but a degenerate.
All right, then.
I mean, we're gonna do it, man. Rough year.
We move to Matt's game here. We have number 8 Oklahoma State. They are 5-0 at number 13 TCU, who is also 5-0 and a 4-point home favorite. 68.5 is your over under this one Saturday at 3:30 on ABC. Matt, we'll start with you since it is your game.
Can't pick against the Horned Frogs. Just can't do it. So I will take TCU, but 100% taking the over. Big 12, baby.
Oh, God, let's go.
Good choice, EJ.
Over, baby. Gamble on it, too. Lock of the week. Mortgage bet of the week.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
The under now.
Yeah.
What have you done?
I'm with Matt here. I'll take the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian.
That's you if you bet EJ's lock of the week.
I love it.
Kyle, go ahead.
You know, I will admire the bravery of both EJ and AJ because he had the stogies, not just Matt. Both here picking the Horned Frogs against the nation's
mullet.
Best mullet. How do you pick against Mike Gundy? I don't care. Yeah, apparently they are, Jim. Apparently they don't believe the mullet. I don't care if he's a man. Exactly. No, listen. This is a team that can compete to win the Big 12 outright. Obviously, they would need to achieve this game to do that. I love that you guys are keeping my AARP rule in effect. That the Big 12 is the exception. That's the only way I'm going over 65 for membership is the Big 12. So yeah, let's. I'm going to take the mullet on the road, but the over is in effect.
Come after me.
Man, look, it happens about once a week, and Kyle's convinced me again. So I'm gonna roll with the mullet.
You know what happens, Jim, when that happens.
I know. Well,
sorry, Kyle.
Sorry, Oklahoma State fan. Sorry, Kyle.
Sorry to the mullet.
Sorry to the mullet. I apologize.
Hey, I'd rather have Jim than EJ.
Oh, wow. But yeah, give me Oklahoma State to cover and pull the upset ? But yeah, definitely take the over on that one. Mike says TCU and the over. When you're talking Big 12 football, death taxes and the over.
This guy gets it.
All right, let's then go to EJ's game. It is number 7 USC. They are 6-0. And at number 20 Utah, who is 4-2. And I double and triple check this. Am I correct that Utah is the favorite in this game?
This is correct. 3.5 points.
Okay, 3.5 points. 65 is your over under. This one Saturday night, 8:00 on Fox. So EJ, we'll start with you.
Just like Michigan, statement game for USC. If we're taking it seriously in a championship picture, can win this game, and I think they will do it. Give me USC to win this game outright, and I'm gonna take a slight under. It'll be high scoring, but I'll take a slight under on this one.
Slight.
Okay. Matt, go ahead.
Can't pick USC. No matter how much I think that they're going to win this game, and they will, I will still take Utah out of principle because I'm a man of principle, and give me the slight over. Slight over.
I'm still pissed about them losing to fucking Florida week one, whatever the fuck it was. So
right, Jim?
Yep. Yeah.
I blame you.
Kyle, go ahead.
Dicks!
Here's the thing. EJ goes down fighting no matter how bad his point is, which is the magic of the Tool Time segment, by the way. But
coming up soon.
When that was that's the joke. No, go eat some cookies. No, but
you eat some cookies. Oh wait, shit. Dick move. Dick move.
Well, you are what you eat. Anyways.
Oh.
Woo.
I don't know what's worse, that or Tom Brady
It's
thing.
a disgusting act.
Disgusting.
No, obviously I'm picking USC. I'm not letting Jim fool me again with his silliness. I'm not picking the Utah defendants. Sorry, Utes. And I blame you. And at the beginning of the season, Jim had a very lucid, intelligent, well thought out objection. Overruled. There's some more Michael Finney drops for you, bitches. I have the Trojans handling business despite the fact that I am a Greek.
Beautiful. I'm with Matt. I can't pick USC, and this is my one last Hail Mary with Utah. One more time. I'm gonna ride with the Utes. So give me Utah.
In no way, shape, or form should Utah be favored in this game.
No, that's why I keep looking at it going, what? How,
See,
like this, and I get it's a night game. It's in Utah, but no, they should not be favored.
But it is though historically weird things happen though. These kind of games,
does,
so that's
but
why.
they still should not be favored.
I'm not saying it wrong. I thought at least USC -2 or something. I didn't think we.
Yeah, I kept looking at it, going this real life? And apparently it is. Give me the over as well.
By the way, Jim, it's week 7, not week 8 in college ball.
No, if you've been paying attention on this show, I don't count week 0. We started at week 1.
Yeah, but still week 7 though.
No, it's not.
Host your own pod, bitch. Anyway,
I'm looking at this shit. That's why I'm looking at the
right, because when you look at that shit, they have a quote week 0. There is no such thing on this show as a week 0. Okay, there was a week 1 because it was the first week that games were played. He tried to 0 doesn't make sense.
You're week 0.
I'm bringing logic to this.
What's that?
Mike has USC plus $1 million and the under. So plus $1 million in the under. Well, the million. Never mind. And Joe says USC as much as he doesn't want to.
And let me be clear. I have never met Jim's wife. I don't cheer for Michigan, but I know she's still in her 20s. And the reason I know that is because how Jim feels about Utes. Shall we move on?
All right. Finally, we go to, and this will be the 5th game each and every week. It is the game that College Game Day is at. So every week we will pick the game day game. This week, it is number 3 Alabama. They're 6-0. And a 7.5-point road favorite at number 6 Tennessee, who is 5-0. 65 is your over/under on this one. Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time on CBS. Kyle, we'll start with you.
What is it I'm about to tell you to do, EJ, when it comes to the over? Who's coaching this game?
Yeah, take the over.
No, it's Alabama, you moron. It's Nick Saban. You don't take the over. I'll be
He
fair.
tricked you, EJ.
I baited the shit out of you. That's fair.
I
You
know.
know, I kind of pulled up. It doesn't matter if Judge
It's
Heupel
funny
is.
because it's funny. I have the under here.
Yeah. See, well, hey, you know, there's a reason we have a Lucifer Morningstar a bit here, and most of it is you not listening. We're clearly sure about that. As much as I've hyped Heupel, I wish I would stop doing that. I'm not even trying to anymore. As much as I've talked up Heupel and Tennessee, how they should have been fourth and not Michigan. Sorry, Nizes. But that all ends here. I'm just not confident enough to think that Heupel out-coaches Saban. Like, I can't even say it. Now, granted, I did have to utter something eventually about the chemistry between Idris Elba and John Cena, a sentence I never thought I could utter. So maybe this game does that for me. Yeah, The Suicide Squad was fun. It's not a great movie, but I liked it, okay? So listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and pick Saban. I'm going to take the under because SEC and Alabama, but I just can't. I can't pick Heupel to win this game.
All right, Matt.
With the struggles recently, I would feel okay about taking Tennessee plus the points. I still think Alabama wins the game ultimately. And I will take the under. I don't foresee this being a high-scoring affair. With the teams, I think seeing them struggle along the way is what's going to play into the closer game. So a low-scoring affair with Alabama coming through.
All right, EJ.
Definitely under on this one, but I think it'll be a close game here. Give me Tennessee on the Vince. Give me Tennessee on the points.
All right, yeah. Give me Tennessee plus the points. I would love to see Alabama. I would love to see Alabama lose, but I will. I think they will ultimately win the game. But they've had a couple of close ones this year. I think we're going to see more of the same out of them this week as well. And give me the under on this one. Mike has Tennessee plus the points and the under, as does Joe. He has Tennessee plus the points and the under. So we move now to the NFL. We are looking at week 6 in the National Football League, and bye weeks starting this week. Detroit, Tennessee, Las Vegas, and Houston are your teams on a bye this week in the NFL. We will start with my pick for this week, and I have the 3-2 New York Jets at the 3-2 Green Bay Packers, who are a 7-point home favorite. 46 is your over/under on this one. This one Sunday, 1 o'clock on Fox. EJ, we'll start with you.
This sounds like a get-good game for the Packers here. So as much as it pains me to – not pains me, but as much as it's probably tough to say this as a gambler, I think the Packers – I know. I think the Packers will actually win this game and cover the spread. So give me the Packers minus – was it -7? That's -8 here. You said -7 though, right?
-7, yeah.
Okay, well they'll cover either way, 7 or 8. Give me Packers a cover, and I will take the – I'll take a slide over on this one.
All right. Kyle.
I would call Packers push at 7, but that's just me. Listen, Packers push. That sounds like the name of a bad line dance. Listen, for me. Oh wait, I thought my jokes were so awful, EJ. Anyway,
Happy Gala Day to you.
Again, that is not the
That's
joke.
2 weeks in a row you failed.
I don't care. I know that.
That's trash. Don't misquote me. You weren't in the Gala Day spirit, was how it went.
You son of a bitch. After that,
shut your ass.
There you go.
He's got a point. That's
what you said last week. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. Yeah. Listen. No, the first time though it didn't include it. So really, which one are we quoting? Now it's difficult. Anyways,
I know.
And I blame you. No.
I blame you.
Fuck. I'm making all sorts of mistakes. Here we go.
You can't see me.
No. So the if he's gonna play that, I'm just gonna laugh. No.
I don't have it.
Wow. What kind of wrestling show is this? Oh, it isn't one.
It's a hockey show. It's a hockey show.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Well, hey, I know EJ wanted to make it a baseball show, but listen, for my money, as much as I've talked about the Packers sliding, Zach Wilson, as overrated as he is, a BYU product. So obviously, Jim and EJ feel like they're better than him, and Matt as well. Now that he's back in the show, I just can't pick the Jets yet. I can't do it. I'm not that brave. I think it might be easier for me to do this than to pick against America's best mullet, but I'm gonna have to stay with the Packers on this.
All right, Matt. I think he's working on. He was moving back inside, so I think he's
doing a Cena impression. That's my bad.
He's working his way back on. Look, man, I'm sitting here going, who would have thought that in Week 6 the Jets Packers would have been kind of a toss up? To me, there's something going on in Green Bay. I don't know what it is. Do I think the Jets are going to win this game? I certainly wouldn't lock that in. But I think they cover the 7. I'll go the under on this because that Packers offense just looks abysmal at this point. And I personally would not be shocked if the Jets pull off the upset on Sunday.
Jim,
Matt,
hold on, Jim,
yes.
You're lying. Okay, I'm going to call you on the carpet on your own show when you lie, when you say you don't know what the problem is with the Packers, when you obviously do. It's Utes.
Look, man, don't make me sell out the Utes, okay? Don't make me do that. Let me have that. Yeah, obviously the youth and inexperience at wide receiver is glaringly bad for the Packers. Matt, go ahead, Jets and Packers.
Yeah, I'll take the Jets with the points. I think the Packers will ultimately win, but the close games they've had and the loss to EJ's 4-1, or sorry, not EJ's 4-1 Giants, but the 4-1 Giants just overall, I think kind of shows the struggles. So I do think it's a get right game for them, but I don't foresee them absolutely stomping the Jets like the Packers of old probably would. And I didn't know that Dana was a Jets fan either, Jim.
I think she is just a not Packers fan.
Oh,
so
fair enough.
So I mean,
basically the field,
basically
plays with house money.
And Mike has the Jets plus the points and the under. All right, then we go to the next game, which is EJ's pick. It is the Denver Broncos, the 2-3 Denver Broncos.
The Denver Broncos.
And it's probably how the fans are feeling at this point. At the 3-2 Chargers, the Chargers are a 5-point home favorite. 45.5 is your over-under on this one. This one, the Monday night game. So obviously we are here on Tuesday. So we are 6 days out on this one. If you're not catching this live, you were probably going to want to recheck this line at some point. Yeah. But next Monday night, 8:15 Eastern time on ESPN. EJ, we'll start with you. It's your game.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the 4th Broncos primetime game this year.
Yeah. I
4th in 6 weeks.
Yeah, so I think all of us are getting tired of seeing that.
No, so our boy Russell's been on the spotlight. So it makes sense why people are kind of like weary of him right now, I guess. I know. This has a kind of get right feel to it. Desperation game for the Broncos. I don't know if they win the game necessarily, but I like the Broncos with the points here. So give me the Broncos with the points plus 5, and I will take the under in this one.
EJ, since it is your game, Mike asked, why did you pick this game?
Thank you.
Because the Denver Broncos. That's why.
I knew it.
Just because you just wanted to hear
it? No. Honestly, it's compelling though. We were discussing it in our chat about like picking games and stuff. I know you guys picked a couple other ones. I'm like, well, this is kind of a compelling game here on the list. So,
the Denver Broncos. There you have it.
With the Russell Wilson, talking points right now, and the Chargers trying to figure things out.
I just thought as a Cowboys fan, you would want both the starter and the backup to execute well. So there you go.
I don't get that.
Because I'm the backup. The Denver Broncos.
There you go.
Okay.
All of it out. Get all of it out.
All right. Matt, Broncos and Chargers.
What a stupid game.
You're not compelled by this game at all?
No.
The narratives? No.
You could give me Los Angeles minus 10, and I would take the Chargers.
Ooh, okay.
Give me the Chargers. Give me the under. because Russell Carrington Wilson cannot put points on the board lately, it seems.
All right, Kyle.
Listen, Russell Carrington Wilson is not the problem. Injured Russell Carrington Wilson might be part of the problem, but can we please stop blaming him? He's not the real problem. Okay, he's not the one fumbling balls into the end zone, for example. Nonetheless,
Twice.
Thank you, EJ. Well played. But
I mean, injury or not, he is a guy who underthrew his receiver that led to one of those picks in the end zone.
Exactly.
I mean, now I will say this: you can certainly make an argument that they should have been running the ball at that point, but
Nathaniel.
But if a play is called, you still got to execute. I'm not saying he's the problem. I'm just saying he's also not helping at this point.
Yeah,
injury aside.
Oh, we agree with that too.
The only injured quarterback I know that helps is Dak Prescott, apparently.
Easy for you to say.
So yeah, right. No, I'm still trying to keep from vomiting having to pick.
Wentz is still in the league.
Just ask Ron Rivera. No. So with all that in mind, yeah, I got the Chargers. I got them handily. Points over. Blah blah blah.
All right, good. Yeah, give me the Chargers plus. I'll take the under. The Broncos stink until they prove me otherwise. All right, let's see here. Mike says Chargers in the under. Joe has the Chargers as well. Then we go to Matt's game. It is the 4-1 Buffalo Bills. They are a 3-point road favorite at the 4-1 Kansas City Chiefs. 54 is your over under. This one Sunday, 4:25 on CBS. Matt, we'll start with you.
Granted, it was the Steelers who don't look a whole lot better now that Mitchie T is on the bench, but the Bills can score.
Trubisky or whatever the hell his name is.
And I think that this is kind of the game that they've been looking at. They used the last week against Pittsburgh as a tune-up game, unfortunately for my wife, because it was the first time the Steelers have been televised all season. So that's the game she got to watch. So I will take the Bills minus the points. I just don't believe enough in the Chiefs offense to win in an absolute shootout, but I will take the over when all is said and done.
All right, sounds good. Kyle, you want to make one final pick here before you have to get rolling?
Listen, for my money, this is like if we're picking Bills and Chiefs in this game, an actual good game, unlike whatever that was. It's the only thing I'm going to take here is the over. Period. End of story. But I'm going to take the Chiefs. I like their defense just a little bit better, and Patrick Mahomes II can come back in close situations because he has more weapons to do so with. Gabe Davis being healthy is very interesting, but I think overall the Chiefs have more weapons. Ergo, they will win the day, especially at Arrowhead.
All right, very good, Kyle. Possibly might see you back, but if not, we will see you next week. Just give a quick Twitter plug and where they can follow you and the millions of things that you do.
Yes, luckily for EJ, I might miss tool time, I might not, but of course, find me on Twitter as the student of the game, at the SOTG. Also on Instagram as the same, and then on Facebook as a student of the game, and check out my writings. Wrote some Jag stuff in the Matchup Mania on 3pointconversion.com, and check out my work with UCF on the Black and Gold banneret. And hopefully I will be back soon, gentlemen.
Hurry back, buddy.
All right. If not, we will catch you next week. All right. For me or EJ, I think we go to you.
I haven't gone yet. Easy bet. Here's the over. Let's start there. I'll even gamble on that. The one thing with Buffalo, I don't know why you're laughing for.
Because you've said that like 6 times already tonight.
So make money back. That's why.
For who?
Me.
Degenerate.
Thanks, Brett. Anyway, no. The one concern about the Bills I do have, they're all our Super Bowl picks here, is can they win close games? If this game's close, I trust Mahomes over Josh Allen. That being said, I see a repeat, not probably as bad as last year's Week 4 game, but I think Buffalo will actually win this game comfortably. So give Buffalo to cover 2.5.
Yeah, I mean that 3 number, you're basically, I mean, I understand, three on the road is like 6. Avoid it like the plague. Take the over points wise. Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw Buffalo, I think they just scored again against the Steelers. Actually, like it just like that was pretty
Gabriel
wild.
Davis is still running on his 98-yard touchdown reception.
Travis Kelce just caught another touchdown against the Raiders too. It's crazy how that happened.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like coming off a close Monday night division win, I feel like there's more potential for a letdown for Kansas City. So I will take the Bills. I will take the Bills plus the 3. But obviously this one could go either way. Mike has Bills in the over. Joe has Bills and the over as well. We go to Kyle's game. Unfortunately, he had to bounce out of here for the time being. But we will get his game. It is the 3-2 Baltimore Ravens. They are a 5-point road favorite at the I can't believe I actually have to say this, the 4-1 New York Giants. Really? That's a thing? 45
get over it.
Under on this one, Sunday, 1:00 on CBS. EJ, we'll start with you.
I'm as shocked as you are, so don't feel bad. But that being said, I like Baltimore to cover slightly in this one. I think this is one of those games where the Giants, feeling themselves a 4-1, come back home, reading press clippings, all that, and then the letdown comes up.
But they are who we thought they were.
All right. I hope I'm wrong. It's my team, but Baltimore on the points here by touchdown. And what's the over-under again? It was 45?
45, yeah.
Oh, man. Give me an under on this one because the Giants can't score shit. So,
all right, Matt.
Yeah, I don't know about a slight cover for the Ravens. It's nice that for EJ in a letdown game, his team just slightly loses to one of the best teams in the NFL. This is the testament that you're not really a Giants fan, because a true Giants fan would buy into their team, go all out.
Facts were feelings. Sorry. Next.
Unbelievable. Give me the Ravens. Give me -5. Give me an alternate spread of -9. I'll take it. Give me the over. Baltimore wins 49-0.
That is a disgusting act.
Yeah, look, dude, it's cute. You beat like the Titans by 2, and you beat like
by 1.
You beat the Titans by 1. You beat another crappy team by like 2. You beat another crappy team by a couple more. You beat a Packers team that's literally falling off the tracks. You're not beating the Ravens. You're not. Ravens plus. I
wish I knew you fucking like 15 years ago. You would have fucking hated my ass, dude.
EJ, I hate you now. Give me the under, because I don't think Saquon Barkley is the coach, quarterback, offensive coordinator, running back, receiver, tight end, and offensive line for the Giants, but I don't
and EVP.
Well, he's the MVP of the Giants. Yes,
I was EVP.
Yes. I don't think the Giants are going to be able to score enough to hit that over mark. All right, let's go to the final game. Wait, hold on. Mike had Ravens in the over. Joe says the under is the play. He says. All right, let's go to the Sunday night. Like in college, every week we will do the game day game. In the NFL, every week we will do the Sunday night football game. So this week it is an NFC East matchup. It is the 4-1 Dallas Cowboys at the 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles. They are a 5-point home favorite. 42.5 is your over/under on this one. Sunday night, 8:20, NBC and Peacock. Matt, we'll start with you on this one.
Well, unlike EJ, who will have a tough time picking this game since he likes both teams and is really just hoping that all the teams have fun. I can't pick against my team. So
Right.
It's in Philly. Give me the Birds. If it was in Dallas, I might sing a different tune, but I will take the Eagles. I will take the over.
All right, EJ, we'll go to you. We're going to make you pick a winner here.
Oh, no, well, like both teams. I hate the Eagles. What are you talking about? I like Jalen Hurts, though. Give me the over. Slight over.
Jalen Hurts guy. Jalen Hurts.
I love Jalen. One of the greatest humans ever. And give me Dallas in the points here. Fuck it. 1,000 points. I think Philly might still win this game.
Surprising.
Yeah.
1A1, that's the most 1A, 1B pick you could make on
Kind of.
I'm
a coward.
You said it. Look, I'm not picking the Cowboys in this game. Like, there should be no shock here. I'm not predicting the Eagles to win. Do I think the Eagles will win? Probably. I think this is obvious. This is the toughest test the Cowboys have had so far this year. Can they slow the Eagles offense down? And look, my boss and I were talking about it too, that for me, like, the Cowboys winning this game would only exemplify or would only extend the hell that I'm living in of people thinking that Cooper Rush should actually remain the quarterback of the Cowboys once Dak Prescott is healthy, which he should not, for the record. But if the Cowboys win, those claims will get even louder from people who believe that he should be. But I think this is going to be a very hard test for this Cowboys offense, even with Cooper Rush's 6 yards per pass. There's more potential for trouble in this one, but I'm taking the Cowboys. But give me
shocker
between the shut up, whatever fan you are,
Irish.
Knock it off. Between the Cowboys offense not being able to score more than like 22 points a game, and hopefully their defense continues to play well and holding opponents under 20 points a game, I have to take the under in this one. Mike has the Eagles and the over. Joe, you're wrong. He says, feel the rush, stay with the hot hand. Look, if Cooper Rush's hand was the hot hand, then I would agree with that. But a guy throwing 160 yards per game and 6 yards per pass, he is not the reason you're winning football games. And there's no reason that the Cowboys, once Dak Prescott returns, that offense should be able to run exactly the same and should continue to run exactly the same with Dak under center. They shouldn't go back to a pass-first offense. They should continue to do it as they've been doing, but it is Dak's team. And
I mean, it's house money too for the Cowboys. I mean, granted, they're not at full strength, and I know that is typically what we hear from Cowboys fans. I've heard for years. Well, Sean Lee wasn't playing because he never was.
Right, exactly. Like, it was more like Sean Lee's playing. Like, it was more of a shock when he was actually on the field.
So yeah, I mean, nothing really to lose for the Cowboys in this sense, because I mean, they played well above expectations with Dak going out. I think we all, except apparently EJ, thought that the season was sunk and they should have been a bottom 5 team. So I think that
don't bring that up again.
But
that's a good segue to our next segment.
So here we go.
So Kyle.
No, Kyle. Yeah, EJ, you got to dance for him. I do miss Kyle's dancing. He does bring an enthusiasm unmatched for this segment. But it is the top 10, the bottom 5 by one Ernest EJ Christian, as we do each and every week. So we will start with the bottom 5. EJ, go ahead.
All right, for the podcast listeners, of course, here are your bottom 5 here. 28 at the Seattle Seahawks. 29. This probably has never happened in my life of doing this. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 29. 30, the Detroit Lions. 31, the Panthers. And 32, the Commanders. All right, boys. How about it? Do you like?
We all miss Kyle's dance, man. We all miss it. Look, my bottom 5 is pretty close. I have the same bottom 3. Actually, I have the same bottom 4. The only one I have
order.
In that order: Steelers, Lions, Panthers, and Commanders. The only one I have different
3 playoff teams in that bottom.
Yeah, right. Whoa.
Yeah, look. One of my teammates at work is from Michigan, and her husband had heard that I was high on the Lions and was like, You are so wrong. This is preseason. I'm like, man, maybe I'm buying the hype. Maybe
You're just hot.
buying into the Hard Knock stuff. Today, apparently, he texted her. First thing he texted her this morning because he was at work early. It texted her, ask James how he feels about the Lions now. Not good. They are.
I will say the one thing looking back in hindsight, I struggled with was the Seahawks 28. They have looked like a somewhat competent team in portions of the year.
Yeah, I don't think the Seahawks should be it. I have the Bears.
Yeah, and that's what I say that the Bears were the only other team I was considering putting in that bottom 5.
Yeah, I mean Seattle. I know what they lost to. Who they lose to this week?
No, they lost to the Saints.
They lost. Okay, they lost. Their offenses look good. Their defenses look decent at times.
Geno looks.
I mean, he's completing 80% of his passes, man. Like, I mean, we forget that he still has weapons. Like, I know Geno Smith is not going to be a MVP quarterback, but he's doing what he has to do. So yeah, I have the Bears in there, but otherwise mine are exactly the same for the bottom 5.
Matt, anything here?
I would keep Seattle in there just because their point differential is a little worse than the Bears.
That's a good point.
I wouldn't, if you had the Texans in and the Seahawks not, I wouldn't have had an argument with that either. But I don't necessarily see a fault there. Houston, I think everyone expected to be bad, and they haven't been playing great. But 1-3-1 with the team looking half decent at times, I think could earn them out of the top.
They've been competitive this year too in all their games.
Yeah.
In their games,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it.
A couple of comments here before we get to the top 10. Mike says, how do you not have the 1-4 Raiders in there? I know for me, I'm like, the Raiders have lost 4 games by like 14 points. And
point differential is 5, -5 for the Raiders.
And had had the Chiefs on the ropes last night. So yeah, the Raiders are losing games, but I don't think they're as bad as the Seahawks, as bad as the Bears.
I think it's important not to get trapped into looking at records either too. I see a point there as well, but
and Joe asked, like, should the Broncos?
I wouldn't have argued the Broncos being on.
I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But
bottom 5 though, no. Bottom 10. Yes.
Look, whether it's coaching, whether you want to put all part blame on Russell Wilson or not, that's a bad football team. It is a bad football team.
I will say as much. If they lose on Monday, there's definitely consideration to be in that.
Here's the deal: like, if because I have the Bears, you put the Bears and the Broncos on the same field, I can't guarantee that the Broncos beat the Bears. Will they probably beat them? Yes. Can I guarantee it? No. So to me, they're in the conversation. Same with Seattle. Well, the Broncos lost Seattle.
True.
So,
I will say, not to defend the Broncos here, but to use a little bit of a college football term here, do have a quality win. It was ugly as shit, but they beat San Francisco.
Sure.
As you'll see, where they rank my list.
The Bears also beat San Francisco.
That's true.
So
that's a good point. Good job, Jim.
And they have another win. So, like, again, I don't necessarily have, like, I don't have the Broncos locked into my bottom 5, but they're closer to the conversation.
The argument.
People.
I would say they're closer than the 1-4 Raiders are for sure.
Yeah, and no, Mike,
I said,
Mike.
Although
the Raiders had the chance to beat the Chiefs and didn't. They didn't close the game, but that means, to me, that tells me they're closer to being good than the Seahawks, than the Bears, then maybe even the Broncos, which we'll see how that plays out. So, like, I don't like to get locked in too much onto record, because, like, otherwise then you're just looking at standings.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, EJ,
and where's the fun of that? Of course, come on.
Right. Then there's no content. All right, let's go to your top 10, EJ.
All right, top 10 for the podcast listeners on audio. Number 10, the Bengals. Number 9, the Chargers. Number 8, the Vikings. Number 7, the Cowboys. Number 6, the Buccaneers. Number 5, the Niners. 4, Ravens. 3, Chiefs. 2, Eagles. And 1, the Buffalo Bills. All right.
So here's what I'll say. Similar to the discussion last week. Your top 3 are locked into the top 3.
I put every top 3. I think every publication in this country has a top 3. Whatever order you agree with it, but
and it
it's
should
pretty
be
much-
like
yeah.
if you want it. Like I said last week, I'll say it again. There's not really a discussion point on my end. If you want to put the Eagles at 1, not going to argue. If you want to put the Chiefs at 1, I'm probably not going to argue either. Like these 3 teams are the 3 best teams in football. Period. That there's no question on that.
Right.
For me, I have the same top 3 in that order.
Right. Okay.
Like let's this is how I want to digest it this week. Like top 3. Any argument, Matt?
No.
Order
All
2.
right. Yeah, Matt. Would you have the same order?
Yeah. I mean, if you had the Chiefs above the Eagles, I think they have more quality wins. The Eagles just have the one really at this point. But I'm fine with that. I think Bills are still the top tier.
The second tier to me right now is the team you have at number 4. Like to me, there's a one team second tier in the NFL right now, and that's the Baltimore Ravens.
You agree with that then?
I agree with that.
Ravens are 4.
To think that literally like a horrible defensive fourth quarter in 2 games and being 5-0.
Yeah.
Holding big leads. So not to say one of those things like whatever, but held big leads and blew it.
Yeah, and it's something that they have to get right before playoff time because you're not going to beat the Chiefs, you're not going to beat the Bills with those sort of mistakes, but you're going to beat, in my opinion, anybody else on the list. And then there's like everybody else, at least for a while. So from to me, from 5 through, I don't know, 15, like I didn't make my past 10. Like I think the groupings, and Kyle's
There
back.
he is.
Hi, Kyle.
Before we go anything, go wait, take off the 10 real quick. Take off the 10 real quick. Show them the 5 first.
That's good. Yeah, let's relook at the bottom 5. Kyle, do you have any problems with the bottom 5?
It's about time you showed the Texans respect. It's a shame it took the Jags losing them for you to do that, but that's cool.
Oh, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, listen, I'll be sure to send you and Zach pictures from Duval if they actually stumble into the playoffs. I'm not saying it will happen. I just say pictures are coming. Listen, just like my cookies, right, bitch? Anyways,
chocolate chip.
Listen, you are going to be made fun of for the rest of the year regardless.
Yes.
But let me tell you how proud and uplifted I am that you are admitting your mistakes. And there's no better way for you to do it than to put the Red Tails at 32. I have put in officially with the committee, and Jim and the committee are overlooking removing Easy Like Sunday Morning because it's a false advertising. There is nothing easy about watching the Washington football team that used to be the Washington football team on Sundays. I think this is a bit of snap judgment on the Lions. I'm more prepared to put the Steelers below the Lions at this point. The Seahawks here with what Geno Smith is doing.
And that's weird. You missed earlier. We were saying that if I had to do it over again, I might put Chicago in the 28 supposed to Seahawks.
Yeah, I said to him, I have the same bottom 5, but I have Chicago at 28.
Yeah, Chicago, actually, for my money, I think you're giving Chicago too much credit. Matter of fact, that's the move. Chicago 30, Lions 29, Steelers 28. Seahawks deserve to crawl out. And for all the bits I've been called a Geno Smith hater because he was an overhyped draftee out of college, and I called that on your show back when, EJ Christian.
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, radio show. Remember those days?
And this cat has the attitude to say, well, you ain't seen me throw, to a reporter who said he was surprised that he was trending up. Yeah, we didn't see throw because you were a backup, hippie. You don't get to talk that trash. Anyways. So I say all that to say, listen, Geno Smith does deserve his props. Winning a shootout, albeit against Jared Goff. I think that says more about Pete Carroll as a coach and GM and that defensive coach that doesn't have a goddamn defense. So yeah, but not a horrible job. I'm quite satisfied. I'm not going to street fight you over the Steelers or the Raiders, who should be in the bottom 5 necessarily.
Raiders, we just discussed that earlier when you left here. The Raiders thing, I mean, we said something about the Broncos maybe being in the bottom 5. I said no to that one, but
right. But at this point, I'll put it this way. And yeah, the Broncos are flirting with it. I get it. But the reason why you didn't put the Raiders here is an obvious homer. They were this close to beating the Chiefs, so you felt compelled to give them respect, and I get that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we said, they are failing to put away games, but they've lost 4 games by 15 points. So I don't think, while they're not good and not closing games isn't isn't a good thing. It's a problem, but they are closer to not being in the bottom 5 than actually being in. But
I would agree with that statement. It's not that they're bad. It's just that everyone else has been better. You know?
Right. So then we're back here on the top 10. What we said, we were kind of attacking this in tiers. The top tier, Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, however you want to put them. We all kind of agreed that those are the 3.
I don't get that why the Eagles are second precisely. Again, somebody give me their biggest win.
Okay. Okay, agreed. But how low do they go on the list? Do they go lower than 3 on this list?
Oh hell no!
There you go. That's what we're saying.
Right, and that was our point. Like if you want to get up at the pulpit and you want to make an argument for the Eagles at 1, feel free, make the argument. You want to put the Chiefs at 1, the Eagles down to 3. You want to put the Bills at 2, or just flop the Eagles and the Bill. To me, that like where we're at right now is these are the 3 best teams in football.
Right.
Not debatable. Then I said, to me, like the second tier right now to me is the team that EJ has at number 4. I feel like that tier is like them by themselves. And then there's kind of everybody else.
I will step to the pulpit for this, and it's for one brief thing. I noticed the Ravens are at 4. Cue Lucifer, please.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
I had them in the top 5 way before it was cool, and you and people who talk trash at me through you thought I was nuts. I'll just leave it at that. Oh, hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
You can show him this clip too, EJ. Then there's the rest of the top 10.
Then there's the 49ers at 5. Jesus H. Christ, EJ. Tell me you don't watch football without telling me you don't watch football or ever say your pickup line of go he bitch. Are you serious right now? I'm a Niners fan and I have to openly beat you down on this show for how bad a pick that is. Why don't you put the Giants and the Titans in the top 10 for Christ's sake? Florio, the Niners at 5? And I don't care how high Cowherd put him. I know that's your retort. He's wrong too. They don't have a legitimate starting quarterback anymore right now, or at least not one that's warmed up thoroughly. They're not playing anybody any good. You saw a game that I would argue was worse than Thursday night in that 11-10 debacle where Russell Carrington Wilson had to stab the Niners in the heart one more time. I get that the Niners have defense everywhere. And they have injuries everywhere too. It's not going to last, EJ. I don't care how much you think you trust them and how much you feel good about them, because your analysis has been anything else but that. And
okay. Tied for second best point differential in the league.
And again, playing who, buddy?
Seattle.
Woo! Yeah,
a bottom 5 team.
You could have picked anybody.
No. I'm going to list the teams they played. Hold on. Seattle. Who else they beat? Seattle beat the Rams.
Bears. Seattle. Falcons are coming up. No, I'm sorry. Rams, Bears, Seattle, and
Panthers.
All teams battling for bottom 5 spots.
Thanks.
So we said last week.
We're talking about real quick. Who are now talking about missing the playoffs? Go ahead.
Okay. So we said last week, when we're doing the tier thing, last week we were saying that tier 2 could go like 8, 9, 10 teams deep. Tier 2 is now 1 team now. Tier 3 now could do the same thing now as tier 2 did last week. You know, you could. I wouldn't do it. I have not done it. You can throw in the Tennessee Titans in there. I'm not going to do it, of course.
Yeah, because
some people are putting the Giants in there. No, I wouldn't do it personally. Your boy at 3 count, conversion ding did it also last week too, and probably was going to do it this weekend also as well.
My boy,
your boy, who wrote the rankings there, who did a horrible job of the rankings, by the way, for record. Anyway, so when I did this tier here, and I see your rebuttal on the Niners, I get it.
My actually well thought out, lucid rebuttal.
If you look at the rankings, though, right? Yes, Vikings 4-1. Yes, Cowboys 4-1. Bengals obviously 2-3, but better than the record, obviously. To me, you look at the structure.
Real quick, I didn't bring up records, just so we're
no. I'm conveying this to you. So yeah, what I did here, and this is where I'm standing at through 5 weeks. It's a trust thing. who do you trust? Who do you trust moving forward? Okay. I trust number 5 and number 6 moving forward. I just know I just know come January when we're freezing our asses off here. Some more colder than others here because you guys up north, you Matt and Jim. And the Niners and the Bucks, we two of the teams in the conference that I believe will be there to the end.
So you know that number 5 just lost one of their best defensive players for the year, right?
Yeah, the cornerback. Yeah, what's his name again?
No, that's not who he means.
The corner, right?
Well, actually, no, that's true. The corners for the year. Bosa's probably another 2 weeks. So at least it's not
so Bosa's going to return. So he'll be there, when EJ trusts him.
Again, you looking at look, if I can trust the Vikings, they'd be higher.
Well,
I don't trust them. They'll probably win the division this year, most likely, as you said.
No. I'm not arguing with your Vikings placement. Listen, they're doing well enough that some games are going to get flexed and they're going to be that low later in the year.
And again, it comes down. Look at number 9. Jim, what did I tell you for your story about number 9? My problem with number 9.
You don't trust their coach.
What happened on Sunday?
They won.
No. They did win. Yes, missed field goal and had to make that field goal. Why would I lost that game?
No. Hey, listen.
Coaching decision.
I picked the Browns to win that game. Again, you're picking other things that I don't have beef with that are completely different. You trust a team that doesn't have an answer at quarterback. At the end of the day, the Vikings have Kirk Cousins as long as it's 1 o'clock. Matt will tell you that's a thing you could somewhat rely on.
I mean, even in those playoff rounds, there's games at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So
but
not every playoff game is played.
And I understand. Look, I understand.
Herbert is better than anything the Niners have in their quarterback room. Not close at all.
Okay, but then again, who's their head coach?
You're gonna go Kyle Shanahan? Can you
again?
The Vikings?
Do you trust Kyle Shanahan? Or do you trust fucking Brandon Staley?
I trust that defense. Okay, that's the one place that you're right. That's the one place that'll go.
And that's the thing that travels. It's the reason why the Cowboys number 7 on the list.
Let me tell you why that's now gotten negated, because you see the way the refs are calling games, and it's not favoring defenses.
Okay, but again,
at some point, Jimmy Garoppolo, whose middle name I don't know and will never have to learn, is going to go up.
Porn star. What happened? What the hell happened?
Kyle froze. I feel like he was going to make a really good point. Maybe.
Porn star Garoppolo. No.
Maybe. Okay. Am I back? I'm going to keep moving.
Kind of. We got you for a minute. You look like you're on a dial-up modem, but you're here nonetheless.
Son of a bitch. But after the Falcons game, they have the Chargers and Patrick Mahomes II, reverse order. I think they play the Chiefs first, with a depleted defense and a quarterback that's going to have to make a goddamn play over an explosive offense. They're going to lose these 2 games. If they win one of them, we'll break bread on top 5. You're still wrong, but I'll at least be forced to accept.
I'm just saying who. And by the way, this is so laughable. When you froze, I said porn star Garoppolo.
I heard you.
No. His middle name is Dick.
You could at least say Richard or Peter.
But it is Richard, but it's Dick. So it's what a joke, dude. Come on. Let me.
So okay, Matt. If you disagree with the Niners at 5, who would you have at 5?
I would probably slide the Niners down to 8 and just move those teams up.
Okay,
Bucks at 5.
Move the Bucks to 5. Cowboys 6.
Vikings. We've seen what the referees will do to ensure that Tom Brady is a top 5 team.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not
wrong.
Way,
that's a great point.
It is.
That's a valid point.
Because if Jimmy Garoppolo will not get that same sort of consideration next week playing the Falcons, if it's that close again, and EJ's Niners, I said it, bitch. EJ's Niners lose that game. Where are we at?
All right, Kyle. We know emphatically you disagree with the Niners at 5. Who do you have at 5?
So for me at 5, the Bucks feel high too. I'll be honest. But to your point, EJ, this is one I'll back you on, because Brady has his receivers back. To Matt's point, he still has the officials. I think for now we have to put them at 5 as kind of a placeholder, right? The top 4 teams are the AFC. fuck it. At some point, the NFC has to get involved. I respect that. I'm not prepared to put the Bengals below the Chargers yet, simply because the Chargers aren't yet at full strength. Give me a couple weeks. We'll see what happens.
You can't trust their coach either, Kyle.
Personally, I actually, and I may be a little high on them because looking at their schedule currently, they don't have a ton of primetime games. I'm going to go Coupons and the Vikings at 5, but I feel like them and Tampa are somewhat interchangeable. And I think Kyle froze again. But I think they're somewhat interchangeable there, given that the Bucs look like they may be getting healthier and the officiating looks like it may be heading in the Buccaneers' way. But I think those are I'm fine with 5 and 6. I have the Niners down at 7. I'm not ready to put the Bengals above them. I'm not ready to put the Cowboys above them. And certainly not the Chargers. But Matt, do you have a problem with the Cowboys at 7?
No, I mean, to EJ's point, then moving forward too, they are getting their quarterback back. They do still get to play the Commanders and the Giants again, correct?
Yeah,
at least once each.
They have the Lions coming up. They have the Bears coming up.
Yeah,
like,
not really
plenty of
murderous
winnable
row
games still on the schedule for Dallas.
there. So
God, that's a bad schedule, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah, it's the
we said earlier in the podcast. If they get through this week against Philadelphia, next 2 games, it's Detroit and Chicago.
Yeah,
I mean, those were games I had as potential. Well, not the Bears one, but the Lions game was the game as I had a potential swing game because I like a dummy. I thought the Lions were going to be good. Yeah, you have Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings. There's a couple.
And Packers is a winnable game too at this point.
The Packers definitely winnable. Vikings, it's a 425 game, so maybe if you can keep it close till the sun goes down.
You got Kirk Cousins at that point. I'm sorry.
And then after that, Giants, Colts, Texans, Jags, Eagles, Titans, Commanders. So that still plenty of winnable on the Cowboys schedule.
I'm not going to bang the table for the Jags because they obviously should be punished after last week and what Trevor Lawrence did. But with their schedule, if they handle business once they get through the stretch of AFC West games here, I'll put it this way: if they're 5-5 at week 10, and I'm still trying to bang the table for the not bang the table for, but listen to EJ bang the table for the Cowboys or his hapless hapless Cowboys and the Giants. I don't know what else I can do at that point. By the way, love how good your coach of the year candidate completely outfoxed McCarthy. 08 lost that game. Right. Anyways. So yeah,
my top, the remainder of my top 10, similar teams, different positions. I had Niners, 7, Bengals, Cowboys, Chargers. And maybe this is just me trying to not be a homer on the Cowboys, that I'm still tepid on them to put the Bengals even at 2 and 3 above them. But I went into the season pessimistic. I'm going to hold out as long as I can.
I'll give you this much credit too, EJ. I do like your courage in putting the Niners ahead of the Cowboys. As much as people want to crown them and the Eagles Super Bowl contenders, I just don't take it seriously.
Again, it's just about trust, man.
Are people
to me, like I look at this. I look at
contenders.
Like I look at this list real quick. Ooh. I can see those 6 teams right now on top 6. They're playing in the Super Bowl in February. Okay,
top 6.
Yeah, number 10. If they get their shit together, returning.
Well, and they have
7, 8, 9 is the verdict along 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, they have signs that they are moving towards doing that.
I can see the Niners in the Super Bowl this year. I can see that.
Asinine. I don't know.
Will it happen? Probably. Well, but again, Kyle, the NFC is weak also too. So it's not like it's a powerhouse in there. All the best teams right now in the league are in the fucking AFC.
But man, I know for me, like I was looking at this, and once I got past 4, like trying to put 5 through 10 together became real difficult because there's a whole lot of just okay. You know what I mean? Like it's just a matter of like we're 5 weeks in, and we truly don't know. There's still plenty more that we don't know 5 weeks in than we actually know.
Yeah.
So let me make this observation too. 1 through 3, quarterback, schedule. Fair. Not to say that Hurts is bad, but Christ, he's not Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he has a lot to prove still 5 weeks in.
That has nothing. Well, that's why I'm saying schedule. Again, This is not me saying he's bad, right? Ravens quarterback.
Yes.
Who doesn't believe it?
Show some fucking respect. Thank you.
Schedule.
You, everybody else.
No. Hey, for the audience, I got you, homie. Schedule. Buccaneers. Schedule. The actual worst division in football. Hashtag I said it.
Correct.
Why do you say that? Marcus Mariota is the second best quarterback. I don't have to say anything else. Moving on. Cowboys. Schedule. Vikings. Schedule. I don't care what
That's
you say.
That's a bad division.
Yeah.
That's a bad division and trending downwards.
Yeah, correct.
Thank you, Green Bay. Thank you,
Detroit.
Detroit.
Chargers, schedule and quarterback, because the AFC West was the best division according to some people. Apologies. Going into this season, and oh snap, they have how many? They have 2 bottom 5 contenders now. Yeah, exactly. Don't even begin to start it. And then Bengals quarterback, right? Because as Home Slice recovered from his appendectomy, Joey Burr is definitely a thing. But I say schedule for the 49ers, and their schedule is damn sure going to trend up sooner than later.
All right.
Coach. Niners coach.
No. That doesn't matter all the time.
I understand what you're saying. I know what you mean, though, but I just trust Shanahan. And those guys love.
I mean,
Garoppolo.
Patriots have coach.
Yeah, they have no talent, though.
Thank you.
But they have no talent. Niners
They
have
have
talent.
defense. They have awesome defense.
Top 2 defense. Well, who are that? The Patriots?
The Patriots don't have top 2, but they have an awesome defense.
Top 5, top 10, top 5, yeah. Definitely.
You know, so yeah, I'm just saying, careful making the strong arm coach argument. All right, gentlemen, let's close this out for the week.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Guarantee for the weekend. What is one guarantee that you have for the upcoming weekend? Kyle, we'll start with you this time.
I don't do this often, but because I know it'll be a problem continuing on the show, and that EJ's 49ers will beat the Falcons convincingly, and his dumb ass will have them at 4.
Lock it up.
No, what'll happen? Yeah, anyway.
Matt, what is your guarantee for the upcoming weekend?
AFC North will go 3-1 for the weekend.
Lock it up.
You did a lock last week like that. There was a division that was going to go something and something.
AFC North and went 1-3. That was 2 weeks ago.
And I had
No, last week my lock of the week was wrong. I said the Lions would win.
Oh, right. 'Cause I'm thinking 2 weeks ago. You're right.
2 weeks ago, he went AFC North 2 weeks ago and it went 1-3.
Yeah.
all right, EJ, what is a guarantee?
Did I?
My guarantee, and I said it on Twitter earlier about calling my shot here. I said earlier on our college picks about taking Tennessee to the points. Not only will I take Tennessee to points, Tennessee will do it this weekend. They will beat Alabama in Tennessee this weekend. Lock that motherfucker up.
Lock it up.
You know what you need to lock up? A Netflix subscription to watch the show Lucifer, so you could watch him live. Say, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Call my shot, baby.
Okay, all right. You were right, EJ. I did not see that one coming.
You thought it'd been a Matt Rule thing, didn't it?
No, because that already happened. So that couldn't be your lock.
Yeah.
I thought your shot was going to have something to do with the Giants or something.
Yeah, Daybull.
No.
I mean,
that's a bunch of Daybull-esque.
I'm silly, but not that
silly. All right, my lock of the week is that the Lions and Texans will both not lose this weekend. I know they don't play.
Exactly.
Kidding.
Someone should bite your kneecaps off for that.
Mine. Now, this one, I'm going out on a limb, which is always scary because I'm fat. But I'm going out on a limb because if it hits, now this will be my 4th straight week if my lock hits. Okay. So if it hits, that means a team and a coach that I despise in college football should be out of the playoff picture. If it doesn't hit, means EJ's going to be sad. So I have my lock as Florida State is going to upset number 4 Clemson in Tallahassee this weekend.
Oh boy,
Lock that up, baby. It ain't gonna win though.
You know what? I got Tennessee wins, bitches. Good God, if that's what I have to choose between.
Mike's lock is Coastal Carolina gets to 7-0.
Oh, Jesus
He wants
Christ.
us to
Stop
put.
with the Jamie Chadwell. It's
DC.
adorable.
Who are
Can
they?
somebody pick them as a game next week?
Wait.
Just-
Who is
Shut
Coastal
Mike
Carolina?
up.
Who is Coastal Carolina? Who are they?
It's the Chanticleers.
Who?
They've been winning. Don't act like. Are you
Come on,
being
man. If
serious?
you don't know, get off a sports show. Okay, come on. You can't tell me.
Myrtle Beach area. We're in the Cure Bowl during the pandemic, battling Liberty at a shot for undefeated glory.
I know that.
And yes, that is a statistical fact. They got more votes than Florida State.
Whatever.
You just
Send
got
the- send the-
burned.
Let's end the show now. I'm done. My wife's called me too.
And Joe says his lock is roughing the passer will continue to change.
Lock it up.
That's a pretty easy one.
Be bad.
All right, EJ, quick plugs here before you get going.
All right. First Week of Podcast, all podcast catchers, dropping on one today. Excellent show. I had Mike on, of course, who's in the chat here. Kyle, of course, Shooting Game Report. EJ Christian 7 on Twitter. Ernest Christian on, of course, YouTube page. Check it out. Other than that, that's it. Love you guys. Good show as always. Take care.
All right, Matt.
Mute me.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. It's at 3CT, the letter A. Philly is in Philadelphia, the number 8, 3CT affiliate. You can hear me on Thursdays on the 3 Count Thursday podcast and on Tuesdays on the 3CT podcast this coming week or next week. Whenever you listen to this, we will have another fun Jeopardy show for you, so stay tuned for that. And otherwise, go Phillies.
All right. Kyle, one last time, a quick plug. I know you got most of it out of the way earlier, but
By the way, I think we figured out what your vice is. Apparently, hallucinogens, LSD, because you're trying to tell me that Kirk Coupons is quarterbacking the 5th best team in the league. I know that's not LSD, but whatever. So, of course, I am Kyle Lasses to the game.
I'm sure somebody's going to correct us if whether or not you can smoke LSD. But
Listen, I've never
feel free, folks.
I've never actually done any sort of illicit, illegal drugs, so I don't know. Feel free to provide a video, I guess.
I don't believe you can, but again, at Huddle Up Podcast on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain you can't actually. That's what my people tell me. I've been the accountant. Anyways, of course, Kyle Nash, Student Game on Twitter, at BSOTG on Twitter and Instagram, Student of the Game on Facebook, where you'll be able to see live the Student of the Game podcast, where that damn guy is going to come on and try to help me make sense of these goddamn Cowboys. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that is, and hopefully he'll be good enough to stick around and help pick games. Of course, then also Mark Mancini on as well to help me go over the events of the week in the football world in general. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Student of the Game podcast. Check that out. And if you don't catch it live on this YouTube channel or my Facebook Live or on the SOTG Twitch or whatever, check it out on Apple Podcasts because Spotify apparently sucks.
It does.
Yeah. So then, check out my work with the 3-point conversion, a piece going over the fact that the Jag season isn't as dead as Zach would have you believe.
Degenerates. Yes.
And bing, my bad, guys. And then also the Matchup Mania will drop Wednesday night. As I sign off here, I'll be finishing up the preview for UCF hosting Temple over at the Bounce House for the 100th game in that stadium on campus there. That'll be with the Black and Gold Banneret.com. So look out for that tomorrow as well. That would be Tuesday. And yes, my work with the Mosthenes Euclid there. EJ got his. Check out Hilarity by Default, required viewing on the Hilarity by Default YouTube.
He's getting married too.
He is. He's engaged. His wife is very sweet, at least based on what I'm told. I will meet her and give you the official verdict once I get back.
The deets.
Whenever the deets. That always sounds like, it sounds dirtier than it really is. Anyways.
I can make it dirtier.
Please
No.
don't.
I thought you were gone. Get out of here.
Wow. I talk about traveling to a foreign country, but it was EJ that got caned. Anyways, Listen, like yanked off the stage, Kane. Jesus, people. No, and of course, my work with A7BN Sports Captain and Company Morning Show on oldschool101.com with Captain Chris Hill. Honor, joy, and privilege, gentlemen. Until next time, class dismissed.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Big Jim Sports, but make sure you are following the show. We are at Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. You can get our merchandise over at tpublic.com. Sales regularly over there, so make sure you check that out and get all of your merchandise needs. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms as well. And until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the win.